Good afternoon. This is Ronald Allen, Managing Change on Facebook Live Chat. And today we've brought ourselves back out to beautiful White Bogs Blueberry Farm. And as you can see, the storm of Tuesday and Wednesday, especially Wednesday into Thursday morning, is pretty much disappeared. Here as the sun is setting on a Sunday evening, how perfect. This place really gets me excited because it is so beautiful. No matter what is going on in our lives, and as you can see, we're walking on. There you go. We're back on our Sunday reflection. And this week was pretty traumatic in many events, many encounters. And that's why I chose to come out here this evening and share with you. Mabel, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining in Managing Change Facebook Live Chats on today's reflection of the week. And this is 5 minutes from where we live. This is our scenery. This is our tranquility. This is our brainstorming. And we can literally walk, giving you a good view. And most importantly, for those who don't know, this is New Jersey. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Just coming out here, sharing it with you. The beautiful thing about this evening is the military, Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base, are not doing exercises. Here are our friends. Check this out. Check this out. Absolutely fantastic. Are they in there? Are they in there? I'm not sure if they're in there. I think so. Yeah? Unbelievable. So today, talking about reflection of the week. What were some of your trials and tribulations? And most importantly, how did you give meaning? How did you manage those challenges? It is not enough to say that the external world is too much for us to manage. It really isn't. I say this with all seriousness and sincerity. Yes, it can be overwhelming. So what tools, what methodologies, what applications do we have as we make our way through life, and no matter what age we happen to be at this time, that we can cultivate and interpret as our own? We know that many of us, on a day like today, being Sunday, we go to our homes of worship. I submit to you your primary home of worship, because life is within you, your life source is within you, should be with you all the time. Not only when things are bad, most importantly, when things are going well. Because if we can reflect on the good things and begin to understand how they manifest, how we manifest a positive, then when we do experience a negative, we can draw on those and say, this is how I wish my experience to be. And I'll give you a couple of examples that happened to us this week. And I'll start off with probably the worst. We're coming back from Massachusetts on Wednesday, and we happen to start very early in the morning, anticipating, proactive, taking things into account, information that's given to us, data, I'm driving these words because we have to use them in a proactive manner. So we took all the information that was given to us and we said we'd start off early, get down to New Jersey. The storm will probably just be hitting the streets. Unfortunately, as well as we had planned, Massachusetts was easy, Connecticut was easy, New York was a breeze, but as we got over the George Washington onto the northern end of the turnpike, drivers, thought they were in a commercial, and they thought whatever car they were in, and they were from what I call those little econo cars, all the way up to the big 150s, etc., they thought they could handle the road. And unfortunately, many of them spun out, causing massive jams. What became progressively worse were when we got into our county, Burlington, many trees had fallen. So what do you say? What's going on in your mind, right? Why is this happening to me? It's not. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's happening because you chose to be out in the weather. It's happening because nature is the bigger picture. It's happening because we are an element in nature. We don't control it. It's amazing how many people in the news you hear that, well, I'm sick and tired of the weather. Really? Then check out. Then check out. Because this is nature. This is the earth. We belong to the earth. The earth does not belong to us. We don't control the weather. We never will. We certainly will try, and we can certainly fly away to a better community, but we will never control the weather. So that's a realization. That's a check and balance, if you will, of what we were going through. So for the next 4 or 5 hours, we didn't get home. It was a 10-hour trip, normally 4 hours, straight 4 hours from Massachusetts to New Jersey. But for 6 more hours, we had to endure road after road that was blocked. And we looked at each other and said, you know what? It's okay. You know why? Because we got our contract done. We delivered to the client. They gave us a great rating. We came home with the trophy. So whatever we had to endure for the last leg, right? Think of a relay race. We were going to pony up and kick in. You know what they say in sports, at the end of the race, you've got to push yourself harder than ever before. When you're going up the hill in a race, on a race, you've got to go against the resistance of your body, your muscles, your mind, and pass people on the hill going up. It's easy to pass people on the hill going down. But the mental fortitude we create, now, again, no matter what stage in life you are, determines your endurance, determines the next path that you have to cross, that dictates how you maneuver. Just like I come out here. Here's the sun setting, by the way, just to let you see. Absolutely fantastic. I can bathe in this and not in the feces of life. So that was one of our most significant challenges of this week. Mother Nature came down and said, you've had a great run up there, a nice presentation, got over a few hurdles, and bringing in your plane, landing your plane, we're going to challenge you. We're going to see what real resolve you have. Is it the resolve, by the way, that someone else tells you? Or is it the resolve that you demand of yourself? I take a simple exercise from Olympic athletes. They do not challenge another. There you go. That's teamwork, by the way. 2 mallards helping each other get to a safe haven before the night comes in. In professional sports, you do not challenge your opposition. You challenge yourself. I submit to you, instead of listening to all the noise out here in society, just listen to yourself. Come out to a place like this, even if it's the bathroom. The bathroom is a great sanctuary. So there you have that first story, and I'm going to leave that at that. Anna Lee, thank you very much for joining in, Managing Change, Facebook Live Chats. We're talking about Sunday. Sunday is Reflection Day, reflection of the week, reflection of our strengths, reflection of our courage. It is using the tools and methods we use at work, at school, in our academics, using those tools to craft a life which is literally moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, week by week. And the benefit that I believe I share with all of you is because I've gone through 23 years of a wonderful relationship with a great woman. I've always said to people, I never say what my wife thinks, whether it's about children, whether it's about an issue. So in reflection this week, another perspective that I realized. In enduring the challenge going up and back from Massachusetts, Miriam, my wife, has a very different perspective on how things should be addressed. And I've learned over time, which we all can, no matter what experience we're having, is to consider an opposite point of view. I've said this before. In military language, it's you have 10 people working together, and one person is always to give an opposite point of view. Good afternoon, Steve. Thank you very much for joining in Managing Change, Facebook Live chats. On Sunday, we call it reflection. Reflection of the week, reflection of our minds, meaning to experiences we have. So Miriam, my wife, has a very different perspective on things. And I've learnt to understand that even, especially with military, you have a team of 10 people. They're thinking of a strategy. One person is to be opposite, what we call the opposer. In corporate boards, the board is not to agree with the executive staff. It is to look at risk. If you think of a sports team, right? Who has the strength? Who can complement that strength? Look around you of your profession. Here's one that's really interesting. When I used to do interior design, when I first came to this country, I put together a portfolio to submit to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. And what I did was I showed them that I could work in different medium. So charcoal, which was one I started with, pencil, a 2HB, and then watercolor, because it's a different method of applying the medium to the canvas, in this case, heavy rag paper, as opposed to, for those of you who have ever worked in oils, again, different approach, different methodology, different skill of which we can use in life. So let's talk about negotiations, right? We're negotiating every day, even at the gas station these days, especially on Wednesday and Thursday when there was little power. So do you rush into the situation and push people, or do you wait back? Can you afford to? Maybe your gas can is very low. These are strategies that we can use each and every day. These are methodologies that, instead of just looking at them for business purposes, look at them for every situation that we find ourselves in. So, today's discussion, reflection. Look at your week. How did you give meaning to your week? Was it in your best interest, or was it an immediate fix, right? What was interesting of the 60s and 70s was that a lot of substances that are now becoming legal were illegal. What they found out in studies and research is that the practitioner in getting product to market in an illegal environment required a very sophisticated, very knowledgeable, very determined personality. Now, many of you might say, well, wait a minute, that's illegal stuff. Illegal based on who's controlling the market. Again, managing change is talking about how we can take information and make it ours, make it benefit to ours, and not just for society's noise of what is right and wrong, because many of us have questioned that. Look at gun control. Again, Florida, the governor wrote a piece of legislation, and NRA came back at them very hard. I guarantee you that's going to change. They'll write the legislation, absolutely. But listen, if you read it, go to the register, the Federal Register, and then read the fine print. It will have no real substance. Nutter did the same thing. Mayor Nutter in Philadelphia did the same thing. I wrote him a letter and I said, Honorable Mayor Nutter, you must embrace the NRA because they have the money, they have the outreach, they have the ombudsman, they have legislative control. Once you bring them on your side and say, we are in favor of gun, yet education of their use. Because that's what the community wanted. So now you have the community, now you have NRA, and then you go after the minority of people who are causing the problem. That's the essence of what I do. When we talk about managing change, when we engage effective communication, it's understanding the proposition of the other person. Whoops, I'm spitting at myself. It's understanding their position and then walking in with what can we do to work effectively together to gain what we both want on the outside. If you can begin to manage yourself in that fashion, I guarantee you will have more success, you'll optimize every opportunity, and you'll walk away with a better experience in life, not just an event. So this is Ronald Allen in beautiful White Bogs Blueberry Farm in New Jersey. Yes, this place is New Jersey. I'm not in Oregon or beautiful Virginia or any of those other beautiful places in America. We're right here in sunny New Jersey. The sun is going down, and I am excited because this is a beautiful part of the world to do my blogs and share with you some of the work that we do. I hope this has been helpful. This is Ronald Allen, Managing Change on Facebook Live Chats. You know where to find me.